Hey friends, welcome to the channel. Let me show you 5 super easy ways to massively reduce your prescribing carbon footprint, and let's join the amazing teamseas effort to get plastic out of our oceans. Number 1, give all of your asthma patients green inhalers. Number 2, help all of your asthma patients dispose of their inhalers properly. Number 3 is consider not starting medication in the first place. Number 4 is actively deprescribe if you can. And number 5, here's a bonus eco tip: always use paperless Sicknotes. Right, so green inhalers. You have definitely heard about them by now, but can someone please just explain them to me in like 10 words or less? Green inhalers are dry powder inhalers. And that's 6. So if you need to press on your inhaler and it sprays a mist of medication, that is not a green inhaler. If on the other hand, you need to suck in the medication with your lungs, that's a green inhaler. If you want to learn more about green inhalers, this funny and informative video can definitely help you out. But if you don't have time for that, just concentrate on doing one thing. If your patient is over the age of 5 or an adult, and you're considering prescribing that good old Clenil, just stop and prescribe budesonide EASYHALER instead. And if you want to hide the fact that most of us GPs actually don't know how an EASYHALER works, honestly, don't worry. Just send them a link to the asthma.org.uk video about how to use an EASYHALER, and you have literally reduced your patient's carbon footprint by 90+%. Secondly, before your patient leaves the room or you finish your telephone consultation, be explicit. When your inhaler runs out, and this new inhaler that I'm giving you actually has a counter on it, so it will be much easier to know when you are finally running out. Do not bin it. Take it back to your pharmacy so that they can recycle it or incinerate it. And let's stop inhalers floating in landfills and in our oceans. Number 3, in lockdown, sadly, the amount of mental health consults that we have had has literally tripled. When speaking to a patient for the first time, especially when we're talking about mental health, I will always ask about lifestyle: smoking, alcohol, drugs and cannabis, diet, and exercise. If they say yes to alcohol, I will usually follow up with, do you know how much you drink? Which is pretty open and non-confrontational. And sometimes they will actually say things like, you know what, probably a bit too much. The difficulty here is that most of us try to manage mental health struggles by ourselves and only get help when we are at breaking point and we need something doing right now. For example, we might want to start some antidepressants, but there are actually a lot of things that we can do right now instead of taking a tablet every day for about 6 months, if not more. And I'll admit, I do concentrate a lot on alcohol because although we might not see it this way, alcohol is a depressant. There's an old saying that goes, if you want to break a habit, you need to replace it with a different habit. So do not ask your patients to give up that relaxing feeling when after an awful day at work, we sit down on that couch and hear that soothing psst. Get them to keep that relaxing ritual going, just replace it with a non-alcoholic alternative. Number 4, I always shudder when I hear the word deprescribing because it makes me think that if I stop a medication and then the patient suffers an adverse event, that I'm opening myself up to litigation. The idea of deprescribing is especially common with statins, because when we start a statin, we tell patients that this will reduce your risk of heart attacks and strokes in the next 10 years. But what if your patient is 95? Do they actually still want that? And sometimes older patients have a long forgotten, always listen to your doctor mentality. But what if the doctor actually says, you know what, you have a choice here, and if you don't want to take this medication, that's actually okay, and we can still continue to support and help you. Empowering your patients to make these decisions can be really satisfying for all parties involved. Finally, here's the extra bonus eco tip: stop doing paper Sicknotes. If your patient is in an age group that actually still needs Sicknotes, it is extremely likely that they will have some sort of smartphone. And sending signed Sicknotes straight to your patient's phone is super easy and fast. Spend the next 5 minutes learning how to do that with this simple video, and we will not only be saving seas, but also saving trees. A massive thank you if you have been sharing these videos with your colleagues and friends. We are well over 1,000 subscribers, and I know that this is thanks to you. Lastly, as a surfing adult learner and water lover myself, getting plastic out of seas and oceans really seems to resonate with me. So do check out teamseas. Otherwise, good luck.